Hey everyone, Matthew Parsons, Realtor here in Farragut, Tennessee, and this month we're taking a look at great coffee places here in the Knoxville area that you need to know about. And today I am at Honeybee Coffee with Norris. Norris, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Good. So Norris, tell me about Honeybee Coffee. You're the owner, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Honeybee Coffee, we have two locations, one in West Knoxville here and one in South Knoxville. We also have a wholesale business where we roast our coffee here and we ship it around the world, nationally and internationally as well. So.
Okay. And how long has Honeybee been around?
We started the business in 2014, and it was after I worked for a number of years with a foundation and kept getting more and more involved in things in agriculture. And on the agriculture end of things, felt like the farmers just said, if you really want to help us, especially in coffee, raise the price of coffee in your hometown. And so at that time, came back and the specialty coffee scene wasn't really big in Knoxville. And it was essentially you just had folks at Java. Now they have Java and Wild Love and Pearl. Sean Parrish and his wife Meg were doing specialty coffee. They were buying it from a roastery in North Carolina. And so talked to Sean a good bit and some other folks, and it seemed like people were starting to get into it. And usually good coffee follows good food. And so from 2014 till now, we've gotten so many more really good restaurants and all kind of stuff going on in this town. So we bought an Airstream and started doing weddings and festivals and stuff like that to see if Knoxville was ready for a specialty roaster, exclusive specialty roaster. So.
What is a specialty roaster? Again, I'm coming into this, I'm completely ignorant and willing to say so. I shouldn't say completely ignorant.
Yeah.
But, when you say specialty roaster, how is that different than, well, a roaster, or what does even roasting mean? Explain it a little bit.
So we get green coffee from different places around the world. We specifically like to target those people we have a direct relationship with, where we know that the farmers and the workers are being treated fairly. There's enough money being made by them to send their kids to school, put food on the table, that sort of thing. In specialty coffee, it's just about 3% of coffee production is actually specialty coffee. It's grade 80 or higher on the scale.
Okay.
And we do not roast anything that's below 85. And we don't do any commodity coffee. We don't do any stuff like that. We just do all specialty coffee. And you can completely tell the difference when you taste specialty coffee next to another type of coffee. And we're paying a lot more for it. Therefore, we have to typically charge more for specialty coffee.
But again, all the way down that money's making it all the way down the line. It's
Absolutely.
not like you're charging more just because it is specialty coffee.
No.
You're charging more because the growers themselves are reaping a greater benefit from that.
Right. I went to a number of these farms where the workers were being paid such a tiny amount of money per coffee sold here in the U.S. and I don't need to mention the company that's doing it, but it's really a shame. Coffee's the number 2 traded commodity in the whole world, and the amount of people that are reaping the benefits of that is very, very small. And the people at the lowest part of that are the ones being most taken advantage of, like with most trade.
Right.
So we set out to try to change that and try to bring a really good, excellent product to Knoxville and to the country and the world.
And so you've brought that product to Knoxville, and it's been successful. It's been received well, right? You said about testing the market earlier, to see if Knoxville had a place for coffee, and it has paid off. Is that correct? I mean, you went from an Airstream
right.
to 2 locations now.
Yeah, we opened 2 locations about 2.5 years ago. The South Knoxville one first, and then the West Knoxville shop. And it's been well received. Knoxville is an incredible town for new business, entrepreneurs. The community really wraps their arms around you in a great way, and the support we receive locally is outstanding. This has been a great location for us, and the one in South Knoxville's been wonderful as well.
Okay. And any plans for future ones that you can share?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be,
there's a couple things on the table.
Okay.
We really love our involvement with some of the local businesses as well. Like we have a great relationship with the Oliver Royale. When we do a Oliver blend for them, we have a great relationship with Pop's Donuts or Phoenix Pharmacy or Knox Pharmacy, Cruz Farm. We've gotten more and more. We use their milk, and they're using our coffee. It's the way that economy is supposed to work, local economy. So it's really important to us to keep local products here, use local, drink local, all that sort of thing. I mean, it's just really good for our economy.
Now we're actually sitting, we're not sitting in a main sitting area right now. We're sitting in the roasting room, are we not? Is that
Right,
correct?
this is our roasting room and lab, like tasting lab.
Okay, all right.
We cup coffee every single day in here to make sure the roasts are correct from the day before. To when we get new coffees in, we cup them anywhere from 10 to 30 times to try to make sure we roast every bean according to the bean, not over roasted or under roasted. We roast it according to how that bean is best roasted to bring out the most flavorful cup of coffee.
Okay, so the different types of beans, it can be some fresher beans, right? Is that part of it? Like how, you know, some greener beans or some darker beans? Like how, I don't know. Right?
They all come pretty much the same.
Okay.
Green coffee.
Okay.
But you're getting them from different regions, different altitudes, different soils, different varieties of coffee. All sorts of factors go into it. It's like a bottle of wine, you know, where it's grown and the type of grape and the way that then how it's processed. And there's 3 different primary ways to process a coffee cherry wants it to become a bean. And so we look at all those factors, and that all weighs into how that coffee bean is therefore roasted. And then once it is roasted, we pick the profile or our recipe of how to then brew it.
Yeah.
The grind size, the water temperature, the extraction.
So that's even another reason why you're getting, again, a higher price point coffee, but by the same token, the amount of time and energy that has gone into actually perfecting that cup of coffee is much greater than a lot of other places where a person's not going to get that specialty roast.
Right, and that's like, we work with our clients to give them exactly what their clientele want. So if we have a wholesale client that says, we need a more robust, or we need something that tastes a little fruitier or a little sweeter, we can adjust all that.
Wow.
And buy the bean according to what they're looking for. We're just able to tailor make it to what folks' preferences are and what they like.
Awesome.
And a real important thing for us has also been this idea of know your source. And we have a huge desire for people to know what they're ingesting and know where that came from, understand all the hands that had to touch that product in order for it to be in a cup of coffee, right? So you have this bean that starts here, it's got to be picked, it's got to be processed, it's got to be exported, imported, sent to us. I mean, all these hands have to receive payment along the way. And so we're pushing this idea this fall especially. We're going to do t-shirts and different, just this idea of know your source, because we just want people to be aware.
And forgive me if I'm about to use a coffee world 4-letter word, all right? But so the big thing I know every year is Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, right? They come out with this super specialty coffee. Do you guys do anything similar, and not necessarily like a pumpkin spice, but do you have different flavors and things with the seasons?
Yeah, we'll roll out a couple new drinks in the fall. We'll do a horchata probably, which we've done in the past, which has been a huge hit. There's a lot of cinnamon in it, so it has a Christmas feel, right? Yeah. And then we'll do an apple cider type thing, and then a couple different espresso drinks, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And we make our own craft sodas as well, so we'll have something on tap for that as well.
Okay. Speaking of on tap, you guys also have something. You guys also not only serve coffee brews, but you serve beer. Is that correct?
Right. We serve craft beer, and we especially like to serve the stuff that folks are doing locally, and we also have our nitro coffee on tap as well.
Again, ignorant. Nitro coffee. I've seen it. I've seen it being pushed through the media right now. It's but what is nitro coffee exactly?
It's nitro coffee is cold brew coffee infused with nitrogen. It's like a Guinness. They just take the beer and they infuse it with nitrogen. And then when you taste it, it tastes almost milky or creamy, but it's just cold brew with bubbles in it, essentially. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's a great drink. We spend 24 hours brewing the cold brew and then put it on tap and nitrogenize it.
Speaking of beer and things on tap, I live in the Farragut area. I've driven by your sign, and I've seen I've seen where you've got happy hour, things like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or do you serve beer all day? What's that look like?
We serve beer all day, but from 4 to 6, we do $3 pints.
Okay.
And the idea is that we'd love for folks to make this their first stop. This isn't a place to come and hang out all night and drink beer, but the beer is just an extension of something to gather around, in the same way coffee is. So the way that our shops are designed is to be intentional about people gathering. You know, we're not trying to run people out of here. Our seats are comfortable. Our spaces are thoughtful, so that folks will be here and have good conversation and go deeper and still be involved in one another's lives rather than just texting or that type of stuff.
Yeah. And even then, enjoy the craftsmanship of the coffee. Enjoy the craftsmanship of even the beers, right? Because
Absolutely.
these aren't Bud Light. You don't have Bud Light and Miller Lite on tap, do
No.
you?
No.
Okay. Why not? No, I'm kidding. So,
You can get that anywhere.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not knocking those beers, but
No. I know.
yeah. So
All right. So, what do I need to know about Honeybee Coffee that perhaps we haven't actually already covered yet?
if you've not tried it, I would challenge people to try it, to compare it to something else. We have a subscription service. You can get a bag of coffee sent to your door weekly. We offer videos in there, brewing tips, and our blog is amazing. We have a writer on staff, and he is just phenomenal, the writing he does in our blog. I would check out the blog about the stuff we've done in Haiti. We've started a nonprofit in Haiti that every bag of Haitian coffee we sell, we give back to this organization, $5 per every bag.
Wow.
So,
And where do I find those things online?
just go to honeybeecoffeeco.com.
Okay. So it's honeybeecoffeeco.com.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Parking.
Yeah.
Any hints for parking? You know what I mean? Because
Well, at this shop in particular, the parking lot stays full. The good thing is this street next to us, you can park on both sides of that street. Any overflow parking can go to Gold's. On the weekends, we can park at Matlock. Every day after 5, we can park at Matlock. So we have phenomenal neighbors, the Matlock folks, the Gold's folks, and they love what we're doing, and they're in here all the time as well. So,
yeah, because I've run into that once or
Right.
twice. You know, and the person initially circles the parking lot and goes, "I can't find a spot," but then they can pop right out and head over right between that driveway between Sonic and your place, right?
Absolutely.
And
Park
there's
anywhere
parking,
along there.
Yeah. Okay.
Our head roaster is my son,
Oh, really?
and he has also is Q grade certified, which is in the coffee world, it's like a sommelier wine, which is a really big deal. And he's a phenomenal roaster, and has just given his life to this, and is why our coffee is so great. Yeah. And then my daughter works behind the bar, and my other son, who's in school in San Francisco now, he also works here when he can. So
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, one of the greatest things that I have a large family, and one of the greatest joys I take is when I get to do projects and take on things, and my kids get to help. So, for instance, my son actually edits a lot of my videos.
Right.
You know, and generally speaking, during the summertime, helps me set up and do all that. He's learning a skill, and yet at the same time, we're spending time together. And you know, it's a really great thing. I like that.
It has been wonderful for us too. And not only they're the best employees, but you know, we're related. So
Yeah.
it's a nice benefit.
Yeah.
We have a great patio out back in the doors. We throw the doors up, and you can sit out back. You can reserve that space and rent it. At both shops, this space, and then there's a space at the south shop that can be rented out as well.
Is the Airstream still around?
We use it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
we still do weddings. We do a couple festivals each year.
Okay.
It's, you know, such a trademark for us, it's hard to get rid of.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Norris, help me out. I understand that you guys, we can make claims about being great coffee.
Right.
But you guys have won awards, correct?
Yeah, we just actually recently won a great award in Charleston, South Carolina at Best Coffee in the Southeast.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm Matthew Parsons, Farragut real estate expert here in the Knoxville area, and love to help people find homes, but also love to help people find great places for coffee. And clearly, obviously, Honeybee is one of the best in the Southeast, if not the country, definitely one of the best in Knoxville. Featuring great craft coffee as well as great craft beers. A great place to come and hang out. So again, thanks for joining us. This is Norris, and I'm Matthew Parsons. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.